A scourge remembered, the Black Death, the bubonic plague. The name alone evokes images of suffering and death. This devastating disease ravaged the world in the Middle Ages. It left an unforgettable mark on human history. Millions perished. It reshaped societies and left an enduring legacy of fear. The Black Death is infamous for its gruesome symptoms. Victims suffered from swollen lymph nodes, fever, chills, and agonizing pain. The disease was swift and merciless. Often death followed within days of the first symptoms. The plague's impact extended far beyond its immediate death toll. It disrupted trade, decimated populations, and sowed seeds of terror and instability. It is a stark reminder of the devastating power of infectious diseases. From fleas to humans. Tracing the plague's roots. The bubonic plague is caused by a bacterium known as Yersinia pestis. This bacterium is primarily found in rodents, particularly rats. Fleas that feed on infected rats can transmit the bacteria to humans. The plague likely originated in Central Asia. From there, it spread along trade routes, reaching Europe in the mid-14th century. Trade ships infested with plague-carrying rats became vectors of transmission, carrying the disease to port cities across the Mediterranean. Overcrowded and unsanitary conditions in medieval cities exacerbated the plague's spread. People lived in close proximity to animals, and waste disposal was poor, creating ideal breeding grounds for rats and fleas. Turning the tide. The decline of the Black Death. The Black Death's grip on Europe gradually loosened over time. Several factors contributed to its decline. Improved hygiene practices, such as quarantining the sick and disposing of bodies properly, helped to slow the spread of the disease. The decline of the Black Death was not immediate. It continued to reappear in Europe in sporadic outbreaks for centuries. However, the severity and scale of these outbreaks diminished over time. Section 4. Scars on society. The plague's lasting legacy. The bubonic plague's impact extended far beyond its immediate death toll. It left an enduring legacy on society, shaping everything from art and literature to religious beliefs and medical practices. The trauma of the Black Death led to widespread fear and anxiety. People were haunted by the memory of the disease and the sudden, gruesome deaths it inflicted. This fear found expression in art and literature. The plague also had profound economic consequences. The massive loss of life led to labour shortages, disrupting agriculture and trade. This in turn contributed to social unrest and political instability. Section 5. The plague in art and literature. Remembering the unthinkable. The Black Death left an indelible mark on art and literature. Artists and writers grappled with the horrors they witnessed, using their craft to process the trauma and to remember the countless lives lost. One of the most famous literary works inspired by the plague is Giovanni Boccaccio's The Decameron. This collection of novellas, set against the backdrop of the Black Death in Florence, explores themes of love, death, and human resilience. Visual arts also reflected the plague's impact. Paintings and sculptures often depicted the Grim Reaper, a skeletal figure symbolizing death, claiming victims indiscriminately. These works served as stark reminders of the plague's indiscriminate reach. The bubonic plague today, a persisting threat. While the bubonic plague is often relegated to history books, it is important to remember that it is not a disease of the past. The plague still exists today, although it is much less common than it once was. The World Health Organization reports a few thousand cases of bubonic plague worldwide each year. The disease is treatable with antibiotics, and early diagnosis and treatment are crucial for survival. The bubonic plague's continued presence serves as a stark reminder of the importance of public health measures, disease surveillance, and global cooperation in combating infectious diseases. If you found this informative, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel Relic Reviewed for more history.